Vandana, so I was just thinking, just at the immediate past sessions when sitting there, when the Vietnam friends was presenting, so they were sharing the experiences that their government is very negative, very strongly controlled and suspicious, and sometimes they are not feeling very safe. And it is often happening in other parts of the country, and we also know that many activists are being groomed. So when they're too strong to pursue. So in this case, only the network can really save them. So maybe once this network will be established, this chair or the authority and representation of the shelter network can really push to the Vietnam government. So this also, for this, because this is a long term, like GR was for particular issues for a certain period of time. Once you get it, it's over. So, but this work that we are going to set up is kind of will continue, and we have a long way to go. Because this is the issue we are addressing, the women's, the structural subordination of gender inequality and this patriarchy in association with the capitalism. So it's very difficult to really pursue. This is just would like to give you the input how we can put into this scope of the advocacy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Promoting security perhaps could be another possibility.
Now, also not only lobbying into our local national stakeholders, global, if it's needed, the UN, and whatever the member state countries, is also we need to really, on behalf of that, to support through particular shelter groups.
I agree.
Yeah.
We can take out regional memorandums, statements, send it to the Vietnamese government.
Exactly. Yeah.
Security.
So that you need to add into this, scope of the advocacy. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Everyone is tired.
Will our friends be in trouble if this is reported to the government?
My organization not have a shelter, but we are here. But in Vietnam have a biggest shelters in Vietnam run by the Women Union, and they took part in the Washington DC the global network, and they go to the Canada, but they cannot here. As why? Why? It's when I ask them, why you don't join discussions in Washington DC? They said that if we want to join a network outside Vietnam, we have to ask for license from government, permission from government, and UN Women Union receive salary from government, not NGO, not real NGO. It's so quite difficult in Vietnam to have some idea opposite with the government. Maybe they put to the prison, and not easy to join a network outside Vietnam. Not easy, very difficult. So my organization advocate with governments by many ways. First way is by cooperate with mass media to help all peoples in Vietnam understand about law and human rights. And the second, we lobby with some good person in the each office in the government, for example, in Congress, National Committee of Social Affairs, for example, we cooperate with some person, not all. Yes, so in Vietnam, advocacy very complicated, not easy to stretch.
Yeah, we have our own challenges.
Yes, many challenges.
Can I ask a question? I mean, I'm just voicing some of the challenges. You see, the problems doesn't come only from governments. For example, when it comes to trafficking in persons, it comes from the public. It comes from people. We deal a lot with victims, and we know that sometimes they use children. A woman with a child, and they say to this man, "Oh, you want work? You can go there." And what happens? The man is brought to the boat, and from the boat to another boat, and then made to work, in the sea. So when you hear all these stories, it is not only government, it is people. And what we feel very frightened about is that here we are very concerned about these people who are suffering. But these perpetrators, they are influencing others because there's a lot of money in it. And they're influencing children. So I think that really we have to be together. We have to face the situation, and we have to think together to see what we can do to help the people.
Yeah, so in the noontime, we have a discussion about the networking. So right now, we set up already like a vision and purpose and objective. So I will ask Anthony, could you show to us? So we can see we talking about these things already, but do you know, still have a lot of things we're going to talk about. How next year, what is our task? Yeah, and what our working plan? Yeah, so would you show?
Yeah.
Stop. So we have to work together. We are not alone. So you can see, okay, say something. I asked Anthony to.
Okay, as you know, during lunchtime we've been having a discussion with anyone who's interested to set up an Asian network of women's shelters. And these are the conclusions that we drew from this meeting. So first of all, we talked about a vision. And the vision we settled on was a just world in which communities and families live free from all forms of violence. By just, we meant inclusive, we meant righteous, fair, and we meant, yes, those kind of things were all included in the word just. And not just a world, but also we wanted to go reach down to the community and the family level, where they're free from all forms of violence. All forms of violence also includes trafficking, It also includes the threat of violence, and of course it also includes gender-based violence and domestic violence and so on. And our values, we decided, were we believed in loving, warm, harmonious, equitable and inclusive families and societies. And for our purpose, we decided that we would unite to promote and strengthen the women's shelter movement in Asia to end all forms of gender-based violence. And by the women's shelter movement, we meant not just shelters, physical shelters that take in women and give them refuge, but also other women's groups that promote anti-violence or against domestic violence and so on. So that's our purpose, to unite, promote and strengthen the women's shelter movement in Asia to end all forms of gender-based violence. And finally, last one, we came up with 4 different objectives, which were firstly to create a platform, to be a platform to promote cross-cultural learning between countries, regions and sub-regions. Secondly, capacity building, to promote capacity building at all levels to enhance effective management skills and delivery of services. And thirdly, advocacy, to strengthen advocacy for policies and legislations related to violence against women. And finally, representation, to be a representative network that can raise Asian voices globally and create national and sub-regional networks. So we agreed all that on the first day, which was quite amazing. I've been in other meetings where we've talked about visions and purposes and goals for 3 days and not come up with any conclusions. So the unity between the different groups from Asia was quite amazing. So I think we can all give them a round of applause. And as for follow-up work, we need to talk more about that. We had a very lively discussion this lunchtime, and we are on the way to creating a small group, which we will possibly call an executive committee of representatives from each of the 3 sub-regions in Asia, including Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, and South Asia, as well as a chairperson. And the Garden of Hope would be very happy to, if the rest of the organisations agree, the Garden of Hope would be very happy to host a secretariat for this organisation. But other participants brought up some political concerns and some practical concerns as well. We had a very lively discussion in the meeting today, but we've already fixed our objectives, and we're on the way to setting some action plans and goals, and to setting up a smaller committee, a smaller working group, a steering committee, or an interim board, which will lead the work on further towards next year's conference, and have regular monthly meetings over the internet, perhaps set up a website and so on. But all these matters are to be decided. We're well on the way to creating a strong and united voice for women's shelters in the Asian region that can play a representative role on the global stage, and also reach down into different countries and different sub-regions and communities to strengthen their own local networks as well. So we're very happy about the very fruitful 2 days we've had here. Thank you very much. I know I didn't.
So just
I didn't dare show the steering committee.
just introduce.
Okay, I have to get my piece of paper.
Just ask to introduce.
Yes, this is there was still some negotiation going on during the coffee break. So, so first of all, I'd like to introduce. This is a draft of the members of the steering committee. And first of all, we have the temporary chairperson, provisional chairperson of the steering committee, which is Ms. Ji Hui-ro. She chaired the meetings for the last 2 days, and she's very willing to take up and continue that work on a temporary basis. And then we have 2 representatives from Southeast Asia, so if one can't do it, the other one will. we have Bong Suzain from Malaysia. And Sister Sutisa Utolan from...
Excuse me, I didn't say yes. Excuse me, I didn't say yes.
Right, this is why I didn't want to do it.
I said to the meeting in that place, please not to put the name of the sister if they don't really say yes. Not mean the sister, but anybody. So.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So Sister Sutisa didn't say yes. Well, she didn't say no either.
I think the negotiation was, if let's say I get a no from the executive director, then Thailand will be the backup for the Southeast Asia. That was the what
You
the
plan,
plan.
is that okay?
Okay, so Sister Sutisa is the backup. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, she said yes.
By the way,
I thought you said yes.
But anyway, I still have a hope, a great hope that she will.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. So the main coordinator for the Southeast Asia region will be Suzanne. But in case Suzanne can't do it, then Sister Sutisa will step in. Right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Good.
And from Northeast Asia, I'm very nervous about this as well. From the Northeast Asia region, we have Sister Teresa Tong.
yes.
Sister Teresa. She's been very reticent as well, but she didn't say no. And
She's still trying to contact. She's still trying to contact Korea. Korea.
I haven't introduced the second member. The second member from Northeast Asia is Ms. Endo Tomoko from Japan. But she's trying to get out of it as well. She's trying to contact Korea. But she's very happy to do it on a temporary basis as well. This is a temporary committee, an ad hoc committee, for the specific purpose of pushing the work forward and carrying the work on for the next year. And the final member from South Asia is Bandana Rana, of course. So we have 6 committee members. Okay, anything else you want me to say?
It's okay.
Yes.
Can we ask all the committee members to stand up, please?
Now who stands up?
Committee members, temporary or not temporary, to stand up. And come to the front. And we'll take a photograph to prove that you did it.
I have a very stiff neck.